Hola, hola, language amigos. Soy Virginia. I'm Virginia from WorldsAcross. And today we are going to start with the first lesson from our Spanish Starter program. This lesson is going to be about Spanish sounds and some expressions with the ones that you can, introduce yourself to the language and sound like a native, okay? So let's start right away with the sounds in Spanish. Here we have the vowels. Of course, we're going to start with the vocales. But first, I would like to tell you that this is one of the most important things in Spanish to know, and it is that in Spanish the vowels are always pronounced the same. Okay, it's not like in English. The a in English, the vowels change. You don't notice it, but for us who learn English, we learn that the letter A, it's pronounced as A. You say April, but then you say apple, so it changes. But in Spanish, no, señor. In Spanish, it's very, very simple, and once you learn the pronunciation of the letter, that's how it's going to be pronounced always, especially with the vowels, okay? Later we will see with the consonants. So now let's start with the letter A, okay? The first one, A. So in English, you have that sound in the words apple, avocado, and spa, okay? In Spanish, we have some other words that are agua, casa, paraguas, plaza, and those words are very, very similar, the sound, as the ones you have in English for apple, avocado, and spa, you see? Then, with the letter E, we have, in English, this pronunciation for the letter E, it's let, elephant, and set, okay? It's not an E in English, okay? It's an E. In Spanish would be elefante, escuela, pera, and aguacate, okay? Very simple. Now let's move on to the next one. The last three vowels, vocales, would be I. You have it in English as si, beach, and Illinois, okay? In Spanish would be iguana, pizza, amigo, and país, okay? Very well, now let's go with the letter O. Very dry. It's not O, it's O, okay? Oslo, Ohio, mango. In Spanish, oro, loco, oso, amor. Then let's go with the last one, the letter U. In English it's U, but in Spanish it's U, and you find that sound in English usually with the double O, as in tooth, tattoo, and food, okay? In Spanish would be universo, fuerza, tattoo, and and búho, okay? Very simple. Now let's go with some consonants, consonantes, okay? The first one, the letter H, H in Spanish is never pronounced, okay? It's silent. So that's something we have to be, careful, and it's very easy, okay? So in English, the letter H is like, it's an aspiration, right? We say hello, right? Hi. In Spanish, no, never pronounced. As you have some words in English due to its origin that the H is not pronounced. For example, honor, what, and stomach, okay? In Spanish would be hola, búho, ay, and prohibir, okay? Double L, elge, en español. Double L or elge. The pronunciation is, in English, would be like a J, okay? Like you pronounce the J in English. You have jeep, jazz, and tangerine. In Spanish would be llave, toalla, pollo, and fallecer, all right? Not fallecer. It's not like hello, the double L in English. No. It's like a J, okay? Then we have the letter ñ. You don't have that in English, its sound, but its sound is like an N-I and then a vowel. Nia, nie, nio, and new. For example, in English, canyon and onion, okay? In Spanish would be niña, tiñe, guiño, and new, okay? You see, it's like an E, like an N and an E, that the little symbol that you have on top, it's like imagine there is an E there, but it's very, very close to the tongue and the top upper part of the mouth, okay? Muy bien. Let's continue with some other consonantes. We have the Y, the letter Y, followed by a vowel in Spanish. It's going to be pronounced like a G in English, okay? So, in English, it's very soft, but in Spanish, it's not. You have something like yet, yes, and yummy, right? But in Spanish, it's yo. It's a little stronger. Yo, ya, playa, yo-yo, okay? Now, the letter J in Spanish, the following, the one we have right here, it's jota, okay? It's pronounced like an H in English, right? H in Spanish, never pronounced, but this is pronounced as the H in English. Very, like, aspirated, right? High, whole, bohemian in English. In Spanish, jazmín, perejil, hijo, okay? The letter G, the following, this one, when it's followed by the letter E or I, in English, in Spanish, E and E, will always be pronounced as well as the jota, the one that we were seeing before, as this one, okay? So, we would say high, whole, and bohemian, the same as the ones we use with the jota, right? So we would say in Spanish, geografía, Gibraltar, and jengibre. You see, the letter J and the letter G in English, in Spanish, they are aspirated, right? Just that with the letter J, all of the vowels, but with the letter G, it's only if it's followed by E or I, okay? Now, let's move on. Here we have the terrible letter R, but it's not that terrible at all once you know these tips. You can this, of course, it's everything with practice, but everybody in the end masters this pronunciation, okay? The letter R, the R in Español, can only be pronounced that way strong if it's at the beginning or if it's double R, okay? If not, then it's easier, okay? But let's start with the first one. In English, we have the word when you sing rum bum bum bum, for example. In Spanish, we say also rum bum 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 for the song, but the pronunciation, when it's at the beginning, the R, yes, we say rosa, right? That's the name, Rose. But we also find it with two R's, perro, and ferrocarril, or ronronear, okay? It's always pronounced strong because it's at the beginning or in the middle with double R. But if there is only one R in the middle of a word, it's pronounced like in the American accent, you would say better, Peter, and the computer with the T. That T, it's very soft. That's going to be in Spanish as well. Para, por, and pera, okay? Better, pera. You see? It's kind of similar. Muy bien. Let's practice a little bit. We have some tongue twisters here. So the first one says, como poco coco como, poco coco compro. This is the pronunciation of the letter C, okay? It's always with the other vowels with the co, ca, okay? Now, el cielo está encapotado. ¿Quién lo desencapotará? El desencapotador que lo desencapote, buen desencapotador será. And the last one, I'm suffering here, guys, but I'm trying to do my best. The next one would be R con R guitarra, R con R carril. Rápido ruedan los carros, cargados de azúcar del ferrocarril. You see the different R's, right? Muy bien. Now let's learn some useful expressions, okay? The first one, we are going to start with the greetings, okay? So we have buen día, buenos días for good morning. Buenas tardes for good afternoon. Buenas noches, good evening or good night. Now, for the other greetings, we can say some informal greetings here. We have the first one, it's hola. Very simple, you probably have heard this a lot. Hola, it's hi or hello. Now, how do we say adios? How do we say bye? We say ciao or adios, right? And then to ask somebody how they are, we say ¿Cómo estás? Means how are you? And ¿Qué tal? What's up? The answers for these would be estoy bien, todo bien, ahí, no muy bien, okay? Now, let's see some courtesy expressions. We have por favor means please. Gracias, thank you. De nada or a la orden, you're welcome. Perdón or disculpa, sorry, excuse me. Y no te preocupes, don't worry. Now, let's see some phrases to end up. And this up, we're going to have some phrases on how to introduce ourselves. ¿Cómo te llamas? What's your name? Say, for example, mi nombre es Felipe. ¿De dónde eres? Where are you from? Soy de Argentina. I am from Argentina. Mucho gusto. Nice to meet you. Igualmente. You can say, right? These can be some answer to that. It's like likewise or nice to meet you too. Igualmente. Very simple, right? Now, I want to see how you can do with this. We say, can you tell me in the comments below what these expressions mean? Por favor. ¿De dónde eres? ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Y buenos días? Comment down below. I want to see your answers and I want to see if everything was clear. I hope it has been. And if you want to know more and want to practice this more, we also have some homework in the link in the description below. I hope these expressions and sounds help you out. You can replay this video as many times as you need. And I hope to see you next time for our following video. So hasta luego, hasta la próxima, amigos. Chao, chao.